and gentlemen. Welcome to the 7-Figure Fashion Business Podcast,
where we talk about the fashion industry and how to get your fashion business to 7 figures.
From manufacturing strategies, cut and sew designers, to fashion hot topics and the latest fashion trends, I'm your host, Monique.
And I'm your host, XYZ. And let's jump into today's episode.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is where you are. Good that time to you. Let's get into the fashion hot topic of the day, you guys. Hot off the press. This is 2 days, maybe 3 days in the making. Brands versus copycats, especially brands that have really created a name and a space for themselves within the fashion world, where you recognize either their unique design or their logo. What is exact copying? What is right? What is wrong? What is a geographical location versus an actual brand name? Let's get into it. So, two different brands posted in two very different ways, you guys. One being Milano de Rouge and the other being Noel. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced, right? It's Fenoel. They both posted about other brands creating knockoffs of their style or of their brand, but in two very different ways. So let's start with the Milano de Rouge one. She posted a video onto her TikTok that was basically a skit of her talking to another version of herself, that the skit was giving, if you've seen the show Martin from the 90s, it was giving Shanae. That was kind of the interpretation of that. But let's listen to some audio for a second. Hold on, because we're gonna get into it.
Can I please talk to you for a second? Oh my goodness. If it isn't Little Miss Attitude. Why you covering your shirt? I'm just cold. It looked kind of familiar. Yeah, yours do too. Mind your business. Boop. I'm just trying to clear the air before things get messy. It's already messy. Everybody and their mama out here rocking this Milano, Italy. It don't matter what everybody else is doing. You, of all people, I would think you would know better. You know how hard I worked for the past 13 years. And when big brands steal from small businesses, it's not just about copying. It affects real people, real dreams, and real purpose.
Oh my God, y'all, I can't
even believe you. Milano, wait. So I'm just out here rocking the ops? Me, Milano Jenkins? I don't even do that. I thought that I was giving you my money. Because I was giving you my money, I thought it was okay.
Y'all, I can't even deal with the rest of the video. The video is long, and it's basically like her, and if you hear her windbreaker jacket, that's her jacket in the audio, which is also kind of annoying. But basically in this video, she's imitating somebody wearing a Milano, Italy t-shirt with a similar font and style of her signature t-shirt, which says Milano de Rouge. Now it says Milano in big lettering at the top and de Rouge in smaller lettering at the bottom. The Milano Italy one says Milano in big lettering at the top and Italy in the bottom. Now, she's claiming that the brands that are printing Milano, Italy on t-shirts are copying her brand aesthetic because the font is similar and it says Milano, Italy versus her Milano de Rouge. Milano, Italy is a place. You guys, it's similar to saying Paris, France on a shirt. If you look at it, Paris, France, Google right now, Paris, France, Los Angeles, California, New York, New York. It's usually bigger lettering at the top and smaller lettering directly under it of the state or the country. Like, it's not revolutionary idea of a print at all. If you Google right now, any location, Chicago, Illinois, Philadelphia, PA, whatever, Ireland, I don't know. There's usually a bigger print at the top and a smaller print at the bottom. I don't even understand how you can say somebody is copying you when it's literally a city in a country. It's a location. I get the font is similar, but your font is also not super special. It almost looks like capitalized Times New Roman. Like, it's not super special as a font. I really think that, I mean, I get it. When Milano de Rouge became very popular, more of these Milano, Italy t-shirts started popping up. I do understand that, yes, there is a point to saying these other companies are trying to make money off the back of her success, which is probably true. However, I do feel like your company name is not super special, and maybe the actual number one product that you have is also not special enough for everybody in the world to not copy. Like, a t-shirt, like her number one item got to be the t-shirts, because that's what you see all the guys wearing, or maybe not right now, but in the past couple of years you saw a lot of guys wearing those in videos and in promotions and stuff. It's like they would get a Milano de Rouge t-shirt when they felt like they wanted to be fly. That's what they would put on. But it's the t-shirt is the main product. T-shirts are so easy to make mass market, so easy. So easy. Let's get into the comment section before we get into the Faye Noel post about people copying her brand. Okay. So the comments on this Milano de Rouge. Now, this is on the Instagram, not the original TikTok. Okay. Someone said her voice is a little annoying to them, which there are a lot of comments that say that. I do hear that sometimes in the way she does speak. I am also from Philadelphia, so my hands are raised. You can't see it, but I do get the annoyance possibly with the cadence that she speaks in some of her interviews. Either way, another comment says, but when she was using H&M t-shirts or shirts and writing her name on it, it was a different story. Now, not a long time ago, maybe 2 years ago, there is a Milano de Rouge deep dive episode on this podcast station where me and Z talked about the history of the brand. And there was a time in the history of the brand a couple years back where she got these H&M button-up white shirts from H&M and printed the Milano de Rouge logo angled sideways on these button-up shirts, and was selling these shirts, let's say, for $80 when they were originally priced at, let's say, $18 in H&M. And it became a whole scandal because she left the H&M tags on the inside of the button-up shirts. A whole thing. So obviously she possibly has a history of literally taking from other brands and just printing her name on it and then upcharging. Someone also said, I don't get the skit in the song as a whole. So the whole background of the video, as you kind of heard a little bit, is that The Boy Is Mine song from Brandy and Monica. And also at the end, she starts singing The Boy Is Mine, which also kind of didn't make sense. It would have made sense if she said the brand is mine, but she said the boy is mine. And when she was singing, not the best voice, but also, does she have anybody approving the media that she's putting out? A lot of people also said in the comment section, where is her media team? She's claiming to have made over $60 million in the years of her business, which is 13 years. Does that mean you have a media team? Because it probably does. And if you do have a media team, why would they approve this? This was not a great promo for her brand at all. Let's get back into the comments. Shein got all the matching sets, so that's possible. Shein might be printing the actual Milano de Rouge label with the sets. But again, the sets in the t-shirts are an easy thing to copy. Streetwear, urban wear, sweatsuit sets and t-shirts are the easiest thing to mass produce. And that is what her whole brand staple is. T-shirts and sweatsuit sets. Let's read one more comment. Let's see, because some people are being positive. Someone said, just remember, while y'all are over here hating, over $60 million in sales, and then they write that over and over again, $60 million in sales, and that's all I got for you. So they're saying, like, you know, while y'all are hating, she's getting money, and that is also true. Somebody said, whoop-de-doo. I'm not sure how that relates. Somebody said, I didn't get the connection between The Boy Is Mine and Martin or what she was trying to say. So they're basically saying overall, it didn't really make sense. Someone also said, my friend, so I believe she's friends with the owner of Milano de Rouge. She said, my friend is a successful Black woman who built her brand with integrity, creativity, and love long before bigger brands try to imitate what she created. That alone should tell you everything. Every word out her mouth is rooted in positivity, support, and encouraging Black women to win. They don't mock her because she's wrong. They mock her because her light bothers people who are comfortable in darkness. But let's be clear, you can't belittle what God already has elevated. You can't tear down a woman whose entire mission is to uplift others. And you definitely can't undo the original when you spend years pretending not to see it. Again, so there are some positive comments, but the negative outweighs the positive. And mostly the negative remarks are, this ad doesn't make sense. The skit doesn't make sense. Why are you posting this? And then other people commentary is, it's a geographical location. You can't necessarily claim Milano, not the Milano de Rouge part, but the Milano part as your own when it's an actual city. So I think overall, the skit was a fail, but I think that she could make this an opportunity to maybe change the name of the company. She kept saying Milano de Rouge means dreams over reality. And Milano de Rouge literally means Milan in red. Like that, it's Italian for Milan in red or red Milan. So to say, oh, it means this versus this is my brand logo, or this is what it stands for to me, or what we stand for as a brand is dreams of reality. I think maybe she could change the name to literally mean dreams of reality in Italian. I think that would be a good idea. Maybe she could change it to Lano de Rouge, like Lano de Rouge, instead of Milano de Rouge. I feel like that would be a better name. I feel like maybe this is the opportunity to change her logo from the plain letters to a different logo. I think there are a lot of different ways she can change this and make this opportunity to really stand out from the Milano de Rouge part. And somebody also commented she's been making the same t-shirts and sets for 13 years and lacks creativity in her brand. And I do not believe that to be true. She has had, to me, really nice puffer coats, denim collections, jacket collections, and other stuff. It's just that those are not the main sellers. The t-shirts and the sweatshirts, I think, is what people can mostly afford. So that's what really sells off the rack the most. However, I do feel like at this point, especially 60 million in sales, her t-shirts and sets should be going beyond what they are. It really is just the basic sets with her name printed on it. I feel like they should be so much better as far as design aesthetics. It should elevate. It should represent a new era, and it doesn't give 2025 to me. Now let's go into another company, because Faye Noel also had a post. Okay, here it is. So her post says, "We need to talk about the real price of imitation, a statement by Faye Noel." Okay, Fe space Noel. The price, and this, her post is a carousel, right? The price of imitation when original design is copied is not flattery, it's extraction. What's happening is unauthorized Faye Noel pieces, replicas, inclusive of the wilted sleeve robe, are circulating fast fashion platforms, and they reduce the story, culture, and labor to a mere aesthetic. Copying harms the work. Copying small brands comes with a cost it takes from designers who are already creating with limited support and limited resources. The wilted sleeve robe was never just a trend. It began as a signature design rooted in heritage, craft, and storytelling. From its Caribbean roots to runway moments celebrating Black women, this robe carries history, pride, and identity. Small brands and independent designers everywhere face this extraction. It reaches luxury houses, but its harm is far greater for smaller designers. The ethics over the price. Now, buying within your means is ethical. It is ethical to buy within your means. However, supporting systems that exploit originality is not. Copying dismisses the craft. It overlooks the time, labor, and artistry poured into every Faye Noel piece and every original idea in our community. They also post, let me see how many more. Okay, 2 more slides. They also post craft and humanity. Every Faye Noel garment is personal. Every stitch is intentional. Every hand behind it is known. Why this matters? It is not just a design being copied. It is creative labor, cultural context, and human stories being erased. A copy is not a compliment. It erases the story behind the work and diminishes the future of independent design. Now, what is a plan of action you can take? Fashion can be worn unconsciously or intentionally. Choose to honor originality. Respect the craft, respect the culture, and spread the word. Faye Noel. Now that is what a marketing team, a media company, a strategist would put together to communicate that not only is their brand and their style being being copied and sold on fast fashion brands, but it is also within their storytelling that their design aesthetic, their attention to detail, their culture is being taken away from their unique brand by these companies repurposing their designs and putting it in polyester plastic and selling it for $9 when their robes are a little over $100. Yes, they say you should buy stuff within your means, but when you can support the real brand that designed the piece that you love so much. You can't want it so bad that you buy a dupe for $15 and call it fashion. You're literally taking $15 plus, really $100 plus dollars out of the real brand that did it first pocket. I understand. Everybody can't afford to get these pieces all the time. But if you stop buying so much of the crappy fashion, then you probably would have the money to buy the pieces that are worth it, the pieces that are staple, the pieces that are luxury. This post from Faye Noel is beautifully written, beautifully put together, and I do believe that it brings across the message that Milano de Rouge was trying to portray. She was trying to say that buying these dupes of our brand isn't right and it's diminishing the reputation of our label. I think where she's going wrong is, number one, the skit was horrible, but also it was talking about the brand logo name versus the aesthetic, versus a brand that is unique and cool and recognizable by the texture, by the style, by the detail, by the, things that really make it a design, a fashion brand, versus printed words on a t-shirt, which is also an actual city and place. And there's nothing against the Milano de Rouge brand, because I do believe the Milano de Rouge brand is a great brand and it has come a long way and has made more money than probably she ever dreamed of. But I do feel like what Faye Noel is talking about is their scalloped sleeve. Their scallop sleeve is recognizable. If you are familiar with the Faye Noel brand, then you are knowing what I'm talking about. The robe, the tops, the pants, this certain detailed texture that they add to their designs, you can see it from a mile away. And it has nothing to do with their logo. It has nothing to do with their name. Their pieces stand out. Beautiful, well-made pieces with a specific design aesthetic, with a specific detail and pattern that makes it Faye Noel. When I see their brand, oh my God, chef's kiss. I love it. I've seen it from a mile away. I recognize the Faye Noel brand when a woman walks into a room with it by the detail of the pattern, by the prints, by the colors. It's not the logo. It's the brand as a whole. Now, let's get into her specific caption, because her specific caption for this carousel post says, I have a message on this Small Business Saturday. Imitations are hurting small designers, and I've stayed quiet for too long. Watching pieces I created be copied, rushed, and resold has felt like watching my work move through the world without its name, its history, or its home. Online people call them dupes, but they are imitations, fast copies that were thoughtfully imagined and built with purpose. Small designers don't have mass factories behind them. Therefore, these other companies, and this is not in here, let me just stick to her statement. She said, small designers don't have mass factories behind them. We have people, vision, and community. When something I designed gets replicated and sold cheaply, it is not a compliment. It's an erasure of a story, detail, and the integrity of the original. Period. Beautiful statement, well written, well thought out, well put together. Let's get into her comment section. Well, before I get into that, I did want to say, because she had a sentence in there that says small designers don't have mass factories behind them, which is really the problem that smaller brands have to face every day. When fast fashion brands copy your look, they can make hundreds within days, weeks, while a small designer who had the original design, has the original aesthetic, is struggling to just make 20 pieces, 100 pieces a month. And you're reselling a dupe of mine for $10, for $15, for $25, and it means nothing to you? Meanwhile, I built this brand on my back. It really does hurt to see it happen. Let's get into the comment section. Somebody said, Such an important conversation. As a designer, it seems obvious to me, but I do think so many people don't think about the consequence of buying that cheap knockoff. We work so hard to design and produce beautiful things, which is not easy. The owner's reply to that is, it is not easy at all, and I think people forget the heart and the labor behind what we make. Grateful to have your voice here. Somebody else commented, is there a way to incorporate a trademark protected art? I know it's fashion. It's hard to get protected, but the patterns, fabric to reduce the ability of dupes without consequences. The owner's reply was, I wish we could protect it in some way, working to find ways. Me having looked into it, I really don't think there is a way for fashion patterns to be 100% protected. There are unique ways to make fabric that people invent that you could possibly be protected, but literally the pattern of the way you make something, I don't think is easy to protect at all. Someone else commented, I fell in love with Faye Noel from the minute I came across your pieces. Each design is created with so much thought and care and attention to detail and truly tells a story. Someone else commented, and those of us who invested in what is the most luxurious robe ever worn, we do appreciate it. Love my Faye Noel wilted sleeve robe. Somebody else commented, I always call them out when I see them, as in the fake ones. So that's just literally a comparison of two fashion brands that address the same issue in two completely different ways. One company with grace and, to me, integrity and just a beautiful way to address the issue, versus another company that, to me, really missed the mark. And you can tell by the comments of each post. One person has inspiring comments where people are rallying behind them and displaying their love for the brand and their love for the owner and their opinion on the topic, where the other company is getting a whole bunch of comments on the person in the ad, the person in the skit, and how much it was cringe, or we don't get it, we don't like it, that doesn't even make sense. So it's not even addressing the topic at all. So that's Faye Noel versus Milano de Rouge. And what I believe they are addressing is this same issue, talking about the price of imitation and copies of brands. Let me know how you think about this topic. Leave me a 5-star review when you can. And if you like this episode, of course, go ahead, leave us a 5-star review. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye.